Hey guys, today I have a new type of video for you, a Don't Starve Together video. I would love to make more videos about Don't Starve Together. It is a bit harder to create content for Don't Starve Together, but I think this is perfect for making a new DST video. The devs just released a new live stream about their current upcoming beta that's in 3 weeks, and I have a lot of cool stuff to show you. I'm gonna put it into a shorter summary because their video was about, or their VOD was about an hour. So this is it all summed up into an easy part. Okay, the first thing they showed us in the beta was the new otter mob, which are called marauders, and I believe they haven't really showed us their utility yet. I know they collect items from the shore. You'll see here in a second. They kind of just scurry on over. They're very cute. They collect the flint and they bring it back to their den. They said they'll collect. They didn't really specify what they collect. They collect like a bunch of items. I think they collect food as well, and they just want to use it to put into their den. They're kind of like caccoons, and when it's filled, you can grab loot from it at the end. Um, I'm I don't know if they drop anything. I tried asking in chat if they drop specific items, but they didn't really specify what their use is. They just wanted more coastal decoration for the water since it feels empty. The other thing they covered was salt. So now when you break down salt pillars, it will actually go all the way down into the water. Someone asked if you could use this to pick up with a pinching winch and move them around. Sadly, you cannot, but it makes it a lot easier to collect salt in the long run, which is really nice because there's a new craft that they showed us where you can actually use salt for something that we've been asking for quite a while now. The next cool thing they showed us is that you can cover up holes with your boat just by standing on it. So if you're in a very like risky situation, I guess this is a last ditch effort to try and get to shore. You can also drop items and they will actually cover the hole temporarily. They did say standing on the hole gets you very wet, so you probably don't want to stand on it for too long, but the heavier the items are that you drop on it, the longer they will last. So I think this is a cool little feature. I don't really know if it's going to give a lot of use late game because you'll have boat patches, but I think it's cute for early game stuff. Kind of helps like newer players who crash into a lot of stuff. I mean, I crash into a lot of stuff too, so can't say much there. The next thing they added is a new boat type. It's called the Ancient Boat, which you can only find in sunken treasure chests, which you can find their location that you have to kind of grab out of the water with the pinch and winch. You find them in bottles and you can just find them that way. But this new chest has more, or new boat has more health, and in the center of it is a new storage container that has 16 slots. They'll open it up here in a bit. Their purpose behind this is just to reduce clutter, so you don't have to fit a chest onto there. I think it's nice. They didn't say it was upgradable like the chests currently are, so you're not gonna be able to increase it to like infinite stacking size, which might get changed because it is a beta. This beta it doesn't come out for 3 weeks, so we're kind of just seeing as it goes. They added a new type of monkey raid that makes it so you can find treasure chests on their thing, and they're not actually attacking you in this one. They're just passing by, and so it's giving you the opportunity to attack them and steal their treasure chest to get this new boat kit that has a chance of spawning in there. They also added these new kind of graffitied sea stacks from the monkeys, and they did this to kind of make it easier to find their island when you are closer to them. I think this will be good for like speedrunners who really need to find the island. So that's pretty cool. Now, the big important stuff that I personally care about is they added these new ancient tree seeds that come from the treasure chests as well. They come with the boat kit. They did specify that there's two here, but they said that there's two of them, and they said it in a way that there could be more coming in the actual beta. So there could be more types of trees that show up, but the ones they show us here are pretty cool. This one right here that just grew is called a geode tree, and it drops these geodes that have gems inside of them. They didn't open it up to show us what type of gems, but I'm gonna assume it's just red and blue gems, because being able to just farm like green gems from a tree type seems kind of strong, because it's very simple. It would be a nice alternative to a Vard farm, so I would hope it's something like that. I really don't know. I doubt they're gonna be giving us ruins level loot just from these trees, but they are pretty neat to farm. You might actually have to like look towards getting these treasure chests even more now, just not for the bulk kit, but also for these new tree types. It'll definitely be nice and a welcome change to mega basing because trees are very, very pretty for designing in walkways, and even if they don't have utility, I think it's going to be great for using in. This new tree over here drops something called a night berry, and you'll see in a second if you eat the night berry, it gives you night vision, just like the moggles. Uh, I think this is kind of game changing because now you can wear an armor piece on your head while having night vision. And this will be huge for ruins clears or out on the boat at nighttime, just like while you're fishing, you'll be able to have light source on your head and still row. And they didn't just stop there with ocean content. They also added ocean set pieces that'll slightly fill up the ocean. I don't really know how many of these they added, but it seems like they're also trapped like some of the set pieces we see on mainland. You can get a ghost. The loot seems to be pretty average in terms of chests. The bottles would be nice, I guess, for late game. Not too much special stuff. The really important stuff they added though is the new upgradable salt lick or the gourmet salt lick. This is basically just a better version of salt lick. It lasts way longer. That's nice. I'm hoping they make it so it's like fuelable instead of having to rebuild the whole thing because that was really annoying. That might be a change that you can suggest in the forums. Maybe they'll listen to that. I think that would be a great change to this. Just make it refuelable. Their final adjustments, though, is the entire rework of the Crab King fight, which I think is amazing. They made it so red gems no longer increase Crab King's health. They just make these new towers spawn a little more strong. They probably do more damage, have a bit more health, but you can also just ram right into them. And the blue gems now affect a secondary attack that you will see here in a bit. I love the new little minions he has. He's actually a crab king now because he's like the king of all these mini crabs. They're very cute. I love their animations. The claws that Crab King spawns now also do not damage the boat. They are just purely melee damage towards the player. So now you can dodge those and kill them that way. I think that's great because it was really annoying having to deal with them grabbing onto the boat all the time. Uh, the little towers will obviously shoot these little cannonballs at you that will damage the boat. They didn't show if they damaged the players because they were in God mode, but I'm assuming they would if they hit you directly. But this is the attack that replaces the old freezing. So he pushes you away with waves and spawns ice around, and he uses ice to block himself as like a shield so he can heal. And while you go, you can actually go onto the ice, break his ice, and then start attacking him to interrupt his shield. I think a weather pane will still be good here to prevent him from healing because you need to hit him multiple times a second to actually prevent this from happening. But he's going to have his little minions now fighting you while you're trying to do this, so it's not just you weather pane him and wait. I think that's pretty interesting. They've definitely made the fight a lot more dynamic overall, and I think that's a welcome change. Actually, having to move your boat around instead of just going to the edge of the boat and dodging the ice attacks. They also have two new character skill trees that they have been working on, and the first one is worked out of all characters. It's kind of surprised me when there's quite a few other characters I think need it more, but the word changes are pretty neat. She can first craft this little sack that makes it so she is immune to mosquitoes. They will not target you when you use this, and it'll basically just prevent you from getting attacked by mosquitoes. I think they want to go more in the line of just being entirely the queen of the swamp, which, I mean, that's pretty cool. I I don't really know what this will be used for. I'm assuming if there's another alternative option, it might be better to go there. They don't really show too much of any of the skill trees. But you can also craft this new mosquito bomb where you throw it and mosquitoes just come out and they attack. I'm not really sure the usage as she already has them more. Already has the Merms as her minions, but hey, I guess you get mosquito minions now too. You can also craft this new compost that is a little bit weaker than Wormwood's compost wrap, they said, but stronger than Glommergoop. And it kind of just is an all-in-one for fertilizer. They said they wanted to do this because Wirt is obviously vegetarian, and so she's going to be doing a lot of farming vegetables. So she's going to need something that can, keep up with Wormwood. I think this is a welcome change. It is kind of expensive needing manure and mosquito sack, but if you just are in the swamp, you're going to get tons of mosquito sacks anyways, so it's not that bad. The next thing they added is this little pedestal, kind of similar to the cistern that that Wendy has. And what this does is you fill it up with kelp, and any of the nearby huts will have the merms respawn faster. They said there is a limit to this, so you can't just stack multiple of these things next to huts and have them respawn infinitely. They didn't say how much the limit is. Maybe you can have like one or two. Uh, I don't actually know. It doesn't really show the range of it either, so that's something that could probably be tweaked a little bit. The next character who got a skill tree rework, though, is Winona. After 5 years, she was like one of the first reworks. They gave her a new skill tree, which is exciting. They finally made it so you can disassemble and pick up all of her gadgets, every single one, the generator, the catapults, the spotlight. You'll see everything can get picked up and moved around very easily in one inventory slot. The spotlight and the catapults, as you will see, have these little lights on top of their head that indicate that they are in idle mode, so they are not actually drawing power from the generator. So you can actually keep a generator charged without it draining all of the battery, which is really interesting. She also has this new remote craft where you can actually command where the catapults will attack. They also said the catapults will go back to their auto targeting thing, but Winona is the only one who can use this remote, which is kind of strange. The other thing they added is the Charlie path. You'll be able to refuel the generator with nightmare fuel. And for Wagstaff, you will be able to put pure brilliance into the generator, as well as an enlightened crown shard, which is kind of insane because that's a very late game item. And it says that this will do an overcharge effect. They did not show anything about this effect, but they said it will overcharge the generator. Also, I noticed when they disassembled it, it got rid of the shard, which I hopefully is just a bug because consuming it is wild. I don't know if this provides infinite power, but that would be pretty strong. They also added a tiny version of Wobot, which is the auto sorter that picks items off the ground and goes and stores them in the nearest chest if there's an item like that in there. And this is just like a mini version of that she can craft, and it just goes around, picks up all the items for you, and puts them away. Kind of, you can see it here. Grabs the sticks, plops them into the chest. It's actually pretty quick too. The other very exciting craft is the telepad that Wagstaff had in the Hamlet Don't Starve. So you can place this down. They didn't have any animations or the teleumbrella for this, but basically you use an umbrella and it shocks the lightning and teleports you back to this point anywhere on the map. They did mention this might become available to teleport your whole team back as well. So this is like a Wanda 2.0, but maybe even better. I'm not quite sure what plans they have for this, but it's going to be pretty interesting. You can also pick it up and move it, which is fantastic. I really love those changes. Their final change that they showed was placing objects closer together. They still showed that you can't place it like as close as you can after the initial thing is placed, but like you can definitely not place the science machine that close in current. Um, they said it won't affect how you can still place things that are smaller closer to the actual structures after they're built, but they said it's a little bit better, and that's mainly all they showed us. There's a little things here and there that they mentioned, like this is actually very important. Wirt's merms actually can follow her into the caves now and keep the buffs from the Merm King. So you don't have to set up one Merm King above ground and one Merm King below ground. That is pretty nice. These skill trees are also coming out with quality of life changes to the actual characters, so it's like a rework and a skill tree, which I think is amazing. I'm sure there's a lot more to come in this beta. Hopefully, some more ancient trees. Hopefully, some changes to the salt lick. Hopefully, some more improvements to placing things or more boss loot drops. They did say Crab King drops a new bumper, like a Crab King bumper, and it lets you ram into sea stacks pretty easily. It will take damage, but you can kind of just clear out a bunch of sea stacks, and that they also said it would be immune to ramming into land. I feel like it should just be immune to landing into sea stacks or anything in general, because it is a boss drop item, and it would make Crab King worth fighting because his fight looks pretty fun now, and I wouldn't mind that. But that's pretty much everything they covered. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in another video.